There's so many good games, and this week we're asking the simple question, how do we plan to play them all? Speaking of which, we're breaking down every big reveal, surprise trailer and weird little moment from PlayStation's State of Play this week. And also, in this week's Pixel Picks Showdown, we're naming the best game with no combat. All this and more on this week's Pixel Parents Podcast. Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Pixel Parents Podcast, the show that discusses all things gaming from the perspective of parents. I'm your host, Liam Kelvin. Today I'm of course joined by the bearded one, Scott, the tastemaker. Curry, how are we, Scott?
I'm very well. It's certainly another weekend in video games, and yeah, I just want to drown myself in everything and not look at another video game ever again. I'm only kidding on. I want to do the opposite. I want to play every game that's ever existed. I want to
bathe in it, Scott,
in the salty waters of games, you know, the crusty juice of the video game industry. I want to bathe myself in it.
Well,
I think the way this has already started is it's very telling that we're tired.
oh yes,
ran through the intro a few times just to get there, but you know, we made it and we're here now. And
Scott,
you know, that's better than what we can say. The rapture didn't happen. We survived the rapture, Liam.
Yeah. Well, on that note, right? Yeah. On that note, Scott, before you go, right? Because I've got an announcement. You'll come here, right? An announcement. Rapture didn't happen. That means you're stuck here with me and Scott. You've got the finest, terrible dad part for you. That's it. I am so tired. I think I can see through time and space, and that's just what happens. And we still try to fit in time to play games and all the rest of it. But you know what? I'm so happy we're here. I feel like I can harness this chaotic energy this week, Scott. And I've not even had any type of caffeine before this show. I'm just like, foolish. You know what? It feels like I'm in my last stand. So this is going to be a good hour and a half, Scott. But go ahead, give that me address.
I'm glad you did. It kind of it gives us all an understanding of the reason why we are the way we are. I'm actually not entirely sure where I was going with it. I get on a point and then, you know, I can't get off. I can't derail this train once I'm on that point. I'm like the Macho Man Randy Savage when he cuts a promo. You're not stopping that man. The cream of the crap. Terrible impression, but
we'll take it.
Yeah,
we'll take it.
I'm just excited for life. I'm excited to be. I wrote a post on Blue Sky today, you know, because we don't use Twitter anymore, and I was just reflecting on my journey for this past year. Just like I've played so many different games this year that I would never have touched before, just in the aid of, you know, trying something different. And I've made a promise. That, you know, I'll have to keep, but now is not the time because I'm already in the midst of so many games, Liam. Like,
I've crazy.
You know the term "fingers in many pies." Like, why? First of all, do people say that? Like, why is that a thing? Who has their fingers in pies? But
I'd like to go into that shop. Imagine going into a Greg's. It's one guy ran off his feet. It's for fingers in all the Scottish pies.
Fingers in his pies. Sorry, my dog's going to go absolutely apeshit. My wife's just come home from getting her nails done, and my dog is going to go absolutely off her tits. Do you want to do housekeeping? Well, she goes off her head, and I'll go on mute.
Why not?
I'll give you a wave when I'm ready. I'm back again, right?
That's fine. Listen, that's a ticking back. But for those listening, this is the Pixel Parents Podcast, a weekly podcast by parents who game for those who do the same, where each week we discuss all things gaming whilst raising little ones. Now, every Friday you can listen and see your old dads talk video games on YouTube, Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so please subscribe to us on YouTube if you're not there already so you don't miss our mugs. And if you want to be part of the podcast, come say hello and share your thoughts with us at pixelparents.bsky.social on Blue Sky, or write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. And if you like what you hear, you want to support the show, come and join our free Patreon so you don't miss an episode and chat with the community at patreon.com/pixelparents. And if you're not on Patreon, leave a wee 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice and share this podcast online with your pals. That really helps us out. Of course, thank you to everybody that joins us each and every week. Now, with all that out the way, do I have Scott back? Do I have him back? He's not back yet. So we're going to be talking about what we've been playing this week, and I'm going to get things kicked off because we've touched on it there, right? There's too many good games out there just now. In fact, it's almost to the point of overwhelm, and that's just such a first world problem, right? What a delightful problem to have. Boo-hoo, too many games to play, but it's the fact that you want to play them all. I'm like a dog chasing a car. I just get distracted, just want to go to the next one, but there's been so much, so I'll start at the top. So, last week we had a few gremlins on the show, and I actually think I don't think I managed to share it, but I was DLC daft, and that's continued into the past week, and into this week as well, should I say. So, Donkey Kong Bonanza, the DK Island and Emerald Rush DLC, been playing that, fantastic. Genuinely such a cool new way of playing the game, and just playing that with my son, and watching him take on that challenge, it's absolutely fantastic to play. I think the kids will love it as well, but obviously the big kids and ourselves, it's perfect. Only thing, I just feel like it shouldn't have been paid for DLC, and it just would have been a perfect endgame to Donkey Kong Bonanza as the whole experience, and it was a bit disappointing. However, for £16, I just felt like, it's coming a couple of months after release, just felt like a bit of a stinger, that one, but wanted to update on that.
Is it worth £16?
No, it's not. I don't think any DLC, to be honest with you, you're really pushing it, especially with this, which is effectively a paid-for end game in some senses, because it's not really changing too much. It's not adding, it's repurposing a lot of the old maps. DK Island is a good nostalgia museum, but it's for me, it's just like maybe £7.
£7.
£7. There you go, Nintendo. If you want to be, look, £16 is an awkward price. Like, that's not a tenner.
That's a Silk song. Like,
yeah, it's an awkward price for DLC. But you're right, it's a Silk song, which you'll get dozens and dozens of hours out of. Now, to be fair, this is endlessly replayable as well, but in a different way. I think it just would have been such a good little positive momentum beat for the Switch 2 and this game, which is definitely one of the best of this year. But it's already a stacked year. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Nintendo just need to be a bit better. I've not had the chance to return to the Indiana Jones DLC. That's one that's kind of fallen by the wayside just now. Terrible, I know. But I've been playing the Assassin's Creed Shadows Claws of Awaji DLC, and I've been enjoying it. It's definitely a very standard Assassin's Creed setup. You've got your targets, let's go take them down before we take on the big target, and that'll weaken them. It's good. It's just like a little self-contained story. If you've played Shadows, you know exactly what this is, and it's just more of the same. So it's a second helping of the good stuff. If you really enjoyed Shadows and you wanted more, I would say it's definitely not going to disappoint. Is it going to do anything different? No. It adds in like the bow staff and stuff, but it's not like massively earth-shattering. And I've also started, just a little tease, Scott, but this is for next week, but I have also started playing Hades 2. And I look forward to sharing more on that next week.
I'm boycotting
I'm happy about it. Very happy.
I'm boycotting Hades 2. Starting the movement. I'll be the only person in the world that's not playing it. I just refuse to play it on my Switch. I refuse to do it, Liam.
I can totally accept why. I think playing it on the Switch 2 screen, it's just gorgeous, but I'm not going to go into it. I'm going to keep that patter for next week, but yeah.
I mean, I'm not keeping the patter for next week because I'm fucking raging about it. But yeah, I'll just wait. Like, there's too many things to play there now, and I'm excited for it, but not in a way that I'm literally like shitting my pants to play it. So, I'll hold steady on this one, because I have, when I tell you the list of games that I have going on at the moment, it's going to make everyone like physically whitey on the spot. Like, every single person listening to this is just going to vomit in their hands.
Okay.
So
if we could get away with it, I'd play some Spanish Flea and ask you to recite the list of games that you currently have on the log. Let's go.
Not even the log. This isn't even log territory. This is just games that I'm playing.
Okay. Mid-flow.
I'm currently playing through Fire Emblem Three Houses. Finally reached part 2. Ridiculous. I picked up Baby Steps when it came out. I have got something for review, redacted. I have just wrapped up a game for review, so that's kind of off and on the list. I'll put it there because I might go back and play it a wee bit more. Silent Hill F dropped through the door this morning.
Oh man. Okay.
So that's 5. And that's on top of when I finished Silksong and I was kind of in a moment of like, what do I want to do with my life now? Like, what do I want to play? Because there was nothing there. It was just like 3 days of nothing to play. I think I'm settled on 5, but not small games. Not small games though. And I was like, what am I going to do with my life? And have you watched these YouTube videos where people go back and clear up platinum trophies?
All right, no.
Like, so what they do is that, say Spider-Man 2, for example, just the example I can think of that, comes up, is you've got the platinum for 100% in the game, like the main game, but then you've also got the New Game Plus playthrough, so when you actually finish the game, it's like 98% complete on the trophies, and people want to have 100% completion on all games. So I was looking at all these games that I have that are really close to being platinumed or 100% finished, and Spider-Man 2 was one of them. Onimusha Warlords, Onimusha 2 were on there as well. So I started downloading like 5 or 6 games just to kind of see me through. Didn't play one of them. Like, I didn't even look at them. I played, in fact, no, I lie. I played Spider-Man 2 for the grand total of about half an hour.
Right. Okay.
And I was like, this is great, but I cannot be bothered. Like, replaying that game, I think I could go back to the first one easier than the second one. It sort of it wears you down a wee bit, and I forgot that it was all about Kraven. So I got to the cutscene with him, and I was like, oh, remember him? Remember that terrible movie they made? But
still kind of want to see it, won't lie.
I still want to see it, but I'm also
curiosity.
not wanting to like burn my retinas out afterwards. But yeah, that's kind of where I am. But in terms of what I've been playing this week, Fire Emblem: The Three Houses it's taken over my life, Liam. Like, handheld gaming has never been so hot in the Curry household. My Switch is almost like a jilted lover because it was like, what are you doing? And then I've come back to it and it's like, oh, welcome back.
Look who it is.
I knew you were always going to come back. And it has sparked the debate in my own head with a Switch 2. I was like, is it worth it just for something like more stable and better for it? But I just kind of be arsed. Like, I'm now just doing it out of spite. And the financial implications of buying a Switch 2 are too high at the moment.
Yeah, of course.
It was very much just like, I've been playing this Fire Emblem game, and why did it take so long, William? Why has it taken so long for me to decide that I want to play this game? Because it's phenomenal. Like,
that's the joy of vibe gaming, though. Like, if you just all of a sudden, it's like, I quite fancy that. Now, if you go, that's when it's going to hit, and you're not forcing the subject. And it might take years, but when you get on board, man, it's good. It doesn't get any better, does it? So
good. Like, you obviously find your cast of characters, so it plays out like a Persona game where, like, you have dates in a calendar and you have different things to do on certain dates and blah blah blah. But you're a professor in this school and you teach the children, and then they become your party members, and you can recruit other members and teach them all these different tricks and moves and all that, and it's ridiculous. But I find myself on an almost hourly basis changing who I love in this game.
Okay.
Like, I have characters that I have grown with this entire series. So I'm playing as part of the Blue. I want to say it's not the Blue Lions, but it might be the Blue Lions, right? But someone will correct me if I'm wrong. But the Blue team was like the head of the house is Dimitri, and it's great. Like, I love Dimitri, and he's become an absolute arsehole as the game has gone further into it, and rightly so, to be honest with you. But characters like Felix, I hated him at first. Hated this guy. He was just a wee smarmy dick. But he carried my team through everything. Like, he was just an absolute juggernaut. He would take every single person out. I absolutely hated Sylvan. He's like a womanizer. Every single woman he's just chatting up. You see him all the time. I hated him at first. And gradually, as the game gone on, he's just become like the linchpin of the entire game. Dorothea, she's like a wee singing lady. She's the absolute babe of the team. Like, she can do everything. I'll ask her to do any job and she'll do it. Ingrid, honestly, outrageously, I just love it. And I find myself, like, even if it is only for 20 minutes, half an hour, toilet breaks and work, like, you know, I say toilet when I'm in the toilet, and also breaks and work. I am playing this game at any moment I can, like, literally devouring it. And so much so that it's like I've got all these other games coming to me, but I'm like, I don't actually want to play them. I want to play Fire Emblem. It's like, why this happening now? But I'll stick it out. It's one of those things where I could drop it and come back to it, because it's pretty easy to pick back up again, I think.
Yeah, of course.
I had done that before and I had no idea what was happening in the story, but where I am now, it's very much, where you get dropped in an hour into triangle strategy, where everything sort of gets broken down and all the shit, all the bad stuff happens. That's where I am in Fire Emblem, and I love it. So cool. So I will be playing that for a very long time. I've played Baby Steps for an hour.
Yeah, tell me more about that, because it's been quite all the talk of the town this week.
I've never played a game so much that I never want to play again, but also like constantly want to play. It seems like the perfect drunk game. Like everyone sits around someone playing it in the house and just watches them play this game, because it's hilarious. And it's not only hilarious, just the way the guy moves. Like, you're carting this man around, and it dressed in a massive baby grow, essentially, but it's just the way that he walks, the way that he falls over. He's got a huge arse that every single time he falls over, it just goes up in the air, and I love it. The humour in this whole game, like, it takes you to, you meet different characters, you go down different routes and stuff, and you find all these different people, and it's like your character cannot interact with human beings, so it's so funny. Like, it's just got the perfect sense of humour for me, that for the first half hour I was playing this, I cried laughing, like legitimately cried laughing. It was so funny. But I'd climbed up, so like one of the first tasks that you get, it doesn't tell you where to go. Basically, there's a kind of open field, and it tells you just climb up this mountain. There's a fire in the distance, so you walk up to this campfire. So I went up to the campfire, and then I was like, oh, right, okay, I'm here now. Let's go and try and see what else is around here. And I started climbing over this. It's like remember in Mulan, where you see them running across the water and they're jumping over those poles? Yeah. It's like, I made it like, I make a man out of you moment. It's like, I was doing that with him, and he fell and slid, and he slid the whole way back down this mountain. And I was just like, like, the effort that it takes you to get there, for it to be lost in the space of 3 seconds of stupidity. It's like, oh my God. So I've turned it off and I've not looked at it since. But just the face of the character is the emblem for the game. Like, on the PlayStation 5 screen, it's just his face. So it's like he's just willing you to come back. Oh man, I love it. Like, it's so stupid, and I can see it being something that I maybe don't play every single day in my life, but I go back to and pick up here and there. It's just
sounds like it might have massive Twitch potential as well. Like, a lot of people playing that for a laugh. I mean, it's been a while since we've had a game like that, to be fair. So, and I was quite surprised.
Something that just doesn't have like purpose to it, like just stupid, mindless fun. Like, there's something fun about the game itself as the fun part of it, rather than this massive ranging story. And I just love the way that this guy acts. Like, I love him so much. He's just so socially awkward. Like, there's a moment in it where there's a character that you meet in this campsite, this campfire bit, and he comes up and he's like the adventurer, like quintessential adventurer, man. He has a map, but the game itself has absolutely no HUD. It's just the screen, just everything. But this guy comes in, he's like, "Oh yeah, I've got a map." And your character's like, "Oh, what?" And then the guy's like, "Yeah, do you need a map? Do you need a map?" And your guy's like, "No, no." But the moment where he shows you the map, it brings up like a HUD on the screen that tells you where to go and like a path to follow. But the minute you say no, it just takes it away. So it's like it's playing on the tropes of all these games, and it's just so stupid. Like it's phenomenal. It's like a Bennett Foddy game. So he made Getting Over It, which, you know, in itself has its own type of humour and stuff as well. So I think that it plays on all this chaos and fun of it all. But I saw it and I was like, yeah, I need to buy this like immediately. Pure moment of weakness that I have to play this game. Which
how
maybe not
much
at the right
is
time.
the game?
I think it was on sale on PlayStation Plus. It might have been like £15 or something like that. It wasn't.
That's right, actually.
Wasn't mad. But it is.
It's hardly just Nintendo DLC. Do you know what I mean? It's a good price.
That's true. Endlessly replayable. You just don't have a big ugly Donkey Kong in it.
Oh, how dare, Scott. How dare.
Anytime I can say it. But the real meat and potatoes this week, the rest of them were the amuse-bouche, my favourite term. They were the tender stem broccoli of this meal, the carrots on the side. The real meat and potatoes for this week was Wonder Stars. Right. This is the official Scott Curry take on Wonder Stars, which everyone needs to know about this now. This is the official review for it. I never actually do this when I kind of mention it, but big thanks to fellow traveller emailed us and asked us if we wanted it, and I was like, yeah, I do actually. Like, this game looks cool. But Wonder Stars, and prepare for this mouthful, is a word-based, turn-based, anime-inspired RPG.
Okay,
take a breath. Now, when you see games that have descriptions like that, you're almost like, oh no, like this is too much, and how are they going to stick the landing? But within 5 seconds of this game starting, it all makes sense. Like, it's like, this is definitely a word-based, turn-based, anime-inspired RPG. Like, you couldn't have described it any other way. It is ridiculous. It starts you off with this Dragon Ball Z inspired moment where you drop into like a wrestling ring and you're fighting this huge hulking like luchador dressed woman, and it's like, work it out. Like, it basically it's a tutorial for the game, but it's like you'll figure this out as you go along. But say you're dropped in, but so you play as a character called Ringo.
Love it.
They are a young martial artist with dreams of being more. They want to be more than that. They live on an island with their grandmother, who is the henchest woman you've ever seen in your life. So hench. And as you play through this game, you meet ridiculous characters along the way. Kind of the main one you meet to begin with is Wolf, who is a wolf, but it's clearly inspired by Saturday morning cartoons in the 90s. Like, you wake up in the morning, you're downstairs watching an episode of Dragon Ball Z. This is basically that. Every single letter, it's honestly ridiculous as it oozes this style. And it's just like, it's obviously not the creators of Dragon Ball Z making this game. It's fellow traveller, and I think it's like, I want to say it's like Paper Castle Games, I think it is, I'm pretty sure. They've made this game. So but they kick it off. It's like each level, or they call it episodes, it kicks off with like a title card. So like in Dragon Ball Z, it used to be like, and I can't think of a title of a Dragon Ball Z episode that has like music that accompanies it. It's exactly like that, and it's just like playing off this thing so perfectly. And it starts you off from there. All the characters have this hilarious, it's like a phenomenal sense of humour, and it's just like they play it so seriously but so unseriously. It's just it totally captures this 90s cartoon vibe. One of the highlights though, and the main reason why it's called word-based combat, it's it's a bit confusing to try and explain this, so bear with me, right? I'm not the best at explaining things because I get in my own head, but you can choose words. So you basically have this catalogue of words. Some of them are actions, some of them are like elemental choices, and other ones are like modifiers. So, for example, like your words could be punch, kick, claw, things like that. You could modify that with words like super, special, and that multiplies or adds on to the damage that you'll do from those kind of things. So it could be like super punch, super kick, special claw, blah, blah, blah. But then if you add in elemental choices, so it could be like fire or water or wind, say, then you can combine that all together. So it could be like a super special fire kick, and it goes from a normal 3 damage kick to like a 13 damage kick because you've added all those things together. It's amazing. Like it's amazing how it works. Every character has their own weaknesses and things as well, so you know the different words that you should kind of keep aside and what you should be using as you go on. You lose actions as well. So say for example you've used kick and punch in like the same round, you've got some of the things back and you've lost both of those. You have to wait around to use them, so you then have to figure out, oh fuck, I can't do anything now. Like, what am I going to do here? And that, as the game goes on, it's a wrinkle that you constantly have to fight against, which is cool. Like, you can't just rest on your laurels with it. You can't just say, I'm going to keep all these words the same and that's it. You constantly have to adapt and update it in a way that, you know, it keeps the game industry interesting. That it's great, man. It's really fun.
I love that.
It's do you know what? It's an interesting thing that it takes it from just another turn-based RPG, because you could have just done that. It could have just been this cast of characters in a normal turn-based RPG, and that'd have been it. You know, you'd have been fine with that, but it's just adding more to it, which is cool. Like, and these words aren't just words that stay with you the whole time. You'll find words in the world. So, like, I was trying to find a way to describe this overworld map, but think of Super Mario Brothers 3, right?
Right.
So when you move around that overworld map, it's like 1-1 and you move around it, basically. Probably not the best description, but it's kind of like that. They're all randomized. So like you'll be dropped in one part of it, and then there'll be different sort of pieces around the map. So you could have like one path that goes up the way, one path that goes down the way, and a path that goes through the middle.
Yep.
Some of those paths will have treasure that you can find. Some of them have wee interactions with each other that you find certain things out about each other. Some of them might have battles in there. Some of them might have upgrades, pep talks, different things like that. It's just littered with all these different upgrade paths and things. So it's a really interesting way that it constantly updates it, but you'll find words as you go through it as well. So I think last night when I was playing it, I found like tectonic, and that doubled basically everything that I was doing. Like some of the blocking that I was doing, which was pretty good. And yeah, it's just so interesting, and the fact that it has this art style and visual style to it, it's so engaging. Like it's hitting on everything that you and I know as cartoon fans from back in the day. It's hitting on all those marks that you're just like, God damn, they've done it. Like it's definitely one of those games that I think that it could be a mainstay on like a Switch, for example. Like I think that if you saw this on sale on the Switch, buy it. To be honest with you, it's pretty inexpensive. I think it's like less than 20 quid or something on Switch as well. I'm playing it on PS5, but it's on Steam, Switch, and also the Xbox Series X and S. But it's just a phenomenal time. Like a complete bolt out of the blue, to be honest with you. Like I wasn't expecting it to be this kind of game when I saw it in some of the materials and stuff that were sending over. I was like, oh, it just looks like a standard turn-based RPG. But when you do add in this word-based part of it, it's just a completely different game. It's excellent, man. And it's something that I see myself continuing to play. It's got different challenge modes to it as well. So once you finish a level, you can go back and add and kind of go through it a different way, increase the difficulty, different things like that. It's a really good time, man. Like I think that this is one of those games where the fact that there's not been more people talking about it is surprising, just in terms of you know how it looks and stuff. But I think that the right person talks about this game and gets the word out there, this could explode. Like it's genuinely brilliant. So
maybe you
want to keep out. Hope so. It could be me. But it's definitely one to keep an eye out for, like Wonder Stars.
Yeah.
Add it to any wish list that you want. Go and check it out, because it's absolutely worth your time.
Final question on that, Scott. What score would you give it on the Pixel Parents scale?
I think, it does have its downfalls. So, I think that some of the character interactions are a bit naff, but that kind of comes with the territory of what it's going for. Some of the overworld combat encounters become a bit samey, but these are all things that you expect from these kind of games. But some of that aside, an 8 probably. I think it's a very good game. Yeah. It's a great game, some would say. I think that it's definitely up there for games that I've played this year. And I want to see how it plays out. Like the story's amazing. Like you're trying to find Ringo's brother, and the Wonder Stars are pieces of a map that you're trying to kind of put together to find out something, that I'm not going to tell anyone, but it's just amazing. Like how it all plays out and stuff is great. So check it out if you like.
Excellent. No, love to hear. Look at that. Scott Curry bringing the taste-making games for a lovely audience. You just love to see it. I'm in
my indie bag at the moment. Like, I've never played as many indie games in my life. I love it, man.
2025 has been the year of the indie so far, though. I mean, it's like the AAA games are, burn a candle for them. They're just not getting, all the love and attention you usually expect. It just kind of feels like, I don't know, they're seeing a lot more creativity, a lot more of these different styles and types and genres of game that you just wouldn't get in the AAA space, which is great. And some of the biggest success stories, in both critically and commercially, you're going to see this year will be from the indie space. And hoping that Hades 2 joins that pantheon after what was the biggest beat of this year was Hollow Knight Silksong. That's that. We're going to look back at it this year. I mean, could you imagine if you get to Game Awards season, you're thinking, right, what is it all going to be indie games? In Game of the Year,
could
Expedition 33 count within that potentially as well. I mean, it's a loose one, but you've got ones like that.
It's the same with things like Silksong, Hades.
Silksong,
do you know what I mean?
Hades. Could be a few more in there. Could be the one you're talking about. Who knows? But it's a fantastic success story for it. But anyway, on the subject of AAA games, the big boys themselves decided to rock up this week, as we had predicted privately, with a state of play. So PlayStation had another small showcase, went live on Wednesday of this week. And I thought it'd be a good spot for us to kind of give our broad stroke reactions to it. To be fair, you'll have we were going to do a Pixel reacts on it, and you'll probably discover as to why we've not. I'm going to kick things off, Scott, right here, just to probably go on that pot. So for me, I would give it a 7 on our scale, but Wolverine saved it, and it leaked, and once again, that pop ruined for the clout chasers out there that just love to fucking put a leak out there for the sake of a few retweets. Anyhow, you take that out of it, plus the start of it with Saros as well. And we'll get into the games in a minute, but you take that out of it, this could have easily been about a 5. Almost, I felt like, man, PlayStation have done me here when I'm watching it. There wasn't a lot of stuff in there. There was games I'm like, yeah, cool, I'm interested in that, but there wasn't like, these big hype things, and it comes back to it. I still think they need to have almost like a A and a B type show with this kind of random Apple style approach for tomorrow, 10 a.m. It's like, I'll just drop what I'm doing then, PlayStation, that's fine. So that type of attitude to it, and it did, it nearly did scupper plans that we had for yesterday as well. If thankfully I can't tell time. More on that next week.
It's so funny. What a story, honestly.
It's a good story. Totally my bad. But yeah, what would you give it on the scale, Scott? State of play.
I agree with you, mate. To be honest with you, we both text each other almost at the exact same time last night saying, are we going to do a react on this? And the both of us said, if Wolverine comes up, if this doesn't improve in the last 5 minutes, no. And then Wolverine came, and by God, great. But there was not enough in there for us to stretch out into an extra show for people. I'm really sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but that wasn't happening last night. I went to my bed early, and I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But you're right, like a lot of pure guff in the middle of it. Like, I'm really sorry to people who make games. I'm really sorry because the industry is not kind to you, right? It really isn't kind. But in a world where the only thing that people needed to see last night was Saros and Wolverine, I didn't have to sit through half of that stuff last night. Like, why am I watching trailers for a Halloween game coming out in 2026, and
it was
almost a year later? Like, get that and shove it up your ass. Like, just get it out my face. I don't need to see a trailer for Final Fantasy Tactics that comes out in like just over a week. Don't need it. I don't need a conversation with the developers of that game. It doesn't need to happen. Like, and information about Gran Turismo. Who cares? Like, I'm so sorry. I don't play Gran Turismo, right? I know there's people out there who do, but not here and not now. A God of War controller could have been an email. Like, it's
Battlefield 6 story trailer.
Battlefield 6 story trailer. Do that themselves. EA have enough money. Speakers. What the fuck do I need mad speakers to connect to my PlayStation 5 Portal? No.
So
I'm not.
Here.
But
no.
Liam, the reason why you have a Portal is to play it quietly next to your wife on the couch. If you buy yourself these speakers, blow their heads off with you playing fucking Prince of Persia, the Lost Crown.
Wait, before we're not going to do this in a reaction. We're not going to do it one by one here. This is broad strokes, but I'm going to pause. So that was the Pulse Elevate, the wireless desktop speakers they announced, right? Now, I am interested, I won't lie, because I could use it in my setup and it can go across the devices.
Stupid.
The built-in mic, really cool with the PlayStation Link. I've got the Pulse Elites. I've got the Portal, everything you mentioned. I use some type of Amazon TAT £20 speaker that I plug into my PlayStation, and I'll rotate that wire between that and my computer, and then it has Bluetooth functionality for 20 quid, which is good. Not the best quality of sound. As you know me, I do enjoy that where possible. It depends on the price of it, because I said to you, this is going to be either £3,000 or it's going to be something around about the 129 mark, which I think is where I would kind of top out on something like that. The fact that you can charge them and take them with you, so they're kind of like wireless desktop speakers, and they have the Bluetooth capability across your PC and stuff. This is very much if you've got a desktop setup, hence why they're desktop speakers. But anything other than that, like you says, no, absolutely not. But it was a strange thing. That could have been a PS blog, because it's a very, very small amount of their audience they're talking to. They're like, cool, yeah, that sounds like, something I'd be interested in. But I think
100%.
Coming back to the
let me just give my last piece of moment. Just a last kind of. I want to get this anger out of me so I can actually have a reasonable conversation. I think I've talked myself down from a 7, Liam. I think this might be a 6. 2 things save this show. 2 things save this whole thing. Well, 3 things save this whole thing. And yeah, I'm going with a 6 on this because I'm angry now. I think I slept on it, and yeah, I'm happy with a 6 on this now. There you go.
The rage is here. I mean, look, for me, I'm still going to stick with that 7. For me, I was about to talk about the Battlefield 6 thing, because I'm like, it's a story trailer, and how I just want to linger on how it has basically become Call of Duty. Very, very Modern Warfare in its tone, that blockbuster feel. It looks cool, but it's very much this if I can't beat them, join them vibe from Battlefield this year. And it's hardly reinventing the wheel when you're basically just taking notes. And I spoke about this in past episodes, the Battlefield community came after this briefly, but I'm like, this isn't a case of like, wow, this is something totally new. It's like, it's the exact same, but with much poor visibility and much longer games. I'm sorry, I don't have time for that shit. No way.
Genuinely, if I hadn't seen at the beginning of that trailer the Battlefield Studios or something like that, and you had just said to me that vague shooter game, I wouldn't have been able to tell you that was Battlefield or Call of Duty. I couldn't have told you either way.
Yeah, it's one for
one
the
thing
old
I will
days,
say is there's a moment in it where it cuts to a woman, and the faces on that woman, I was like, I can't tell if that's real or not.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's absolutely stunning, like the graphics and stuff. There's nothing wrong with the quality of that. Yeah. It's more, I just kind of felt, this is when we talk about filler and showcases, as we have done in the past a few episodes ago. This is what I'm talking about. Like, don't waste my time with this guff. This isn't an announcement. Genuinely, I'm of the belief that anything that's of a regular marketing beat after the announcement stage shouldn't be at these showcases half the time. There's no point. Let's get something new to tell me. I don't care if it's like, oh, here, see this product that you know is coming, you know when it's coming, you've probably pre-ordered it. Here's a story trailer. I don't care. Now, that's just personal preference, but I feel that a lot of people in the audience are the same when it comes to these showcases. It's always that moment where you're thinking, I really wish I've either went for a piss or a cup of tea, and you don't want to leave in case you miss something, like a big thing, because they opened the show so well, and we knew this was coming because they had said beforehand, but with Saros as well, opening the show, the new game from Housemarque, makers of Returnal, it just looks absolutely glorious, butter smooth, so polished, and it looks like they're taking their time with it, and then they hit you that it's coming in March 20th next year, so we ain't far away, within that 6-month window, which is awesome, great, and you've got like Rahul Kohli back as well, giving it more gruff cockney, the Ray Winston of games. He's back. He's there to just shoot the living hell out of all these enemies. And yeah, like, I did make my notes here. Scott will be devoured by this. It looks incredible.
Every single moment in this was just like, I wanted to take notes, but then I was also just like that. I'm not taking my eyes off this screen. I'm watching every single thing happen. It's incredible. It's taken everything you know and love from Returnal and just dialed it up. And yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing. It is also out a week before 007 First Light, so I know what I'll be buying.
I'll be trying to get both, you know me.
Get both of them, though. It's just, it continues all the weird shit that Returnal does. You have, like, that boss character with the weird hands coming down and all the skulls falling and shit. I was like, that is cool as fuck. It looks gorgeous. And that's not just Rahul Kohli.
Of course, beautiful man.
I just can't get over that beard, Liam. Like,
that is impeccable. Like,
it's impeccable. But yeah, I can't. I would be quite happy, see if they never showed us anything more about this game and just said, look, we're gonna keep it tight, and we'll see you in March. I'd be like, fine, do that, man. Go off, King. And I would be quite happy just to wait for it, because I need more Returnal in my life, and yeah, this is going to fill that gap.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they did have they followed this up with, they had. I'm going to come back to the big thing, because the show was a sandwich, right? You started with that big slice of bread, and you had Wolverine that closed it off. In between it was a mix, right? You had some guff, and you had the odd wee bits of meat. I'm just going to do a wee bit of a guff roundup, and I mean, in the nicest way possible, the stuff that did feel like filler. You had like Microsoft Flight Simulator 24 coming December 8th to PlayStation. Pretty cool to see that more Xbox stuff. Could have been a tweet. Battlefield 6, you had Deus Ex Remastered coming, which is, again, it looked pretty cool, visually stunning, but coming February 5th, 2026. Halloween, the game that you had mentioned, way, way too early to be talking about that. Felt weird. Last Epoch's coming to PS5, which, again, meh. 7 Deadly Sins Origin. I don't hear one for Scott. He'll be daft for this, but I mean, JRPG fans will have a lot to love there.
My notes for this was, are we allowed to capture creatures in games anymore? I thought that wasn't allowed.
That's true, actually. Nintendo locked that shit down.
Nintendo will be on the case here.
We'll find out on January 28th, 2026. There was another DLC shout out for Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, which is out, at the time of this episode going live. Mega Man DLC's coming, which is cool, but cool. I mean, I don't really need to see that. There's a couple of things in there that I'm keeping for us to talk about in more detail, Scott. There was a Dynasty Warriors 3 Complete Edition remastered, pretty cool. At this point, I'm realising, right, this is got a TGS flavour to it, this state of play.
Do you know the best thing about that trailer, if you're a Dynasty Warriors fan, you'll have seen it. But if you're not, the use of all the old footage and seeing it up back and remastered and stuff again was phenomenal. The best thing I've ever seen. It was glorious. I loved watching it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never play it. I'll never play it, but I loved watching
it. I'm just going to get rid of some of the guff because there's one thing here I'm deliberately leaving out. You had Final Fantasy Tactics, well, it's not guff itself, but the announcement didn't need to be here, right? Coming September 30th, we know what it is. I'm going to add this to it, mate. Let It Die Inferno, which is the sequel to the weird original game, which is coming in December 3rd. Didn't do anything for me personally. More weird-ass game for the sake of weird-ass game. This type of shit kills my brain, if I'm honest, when I'm looking at it. And it was doing it here. Guff, didn't need it. And yeah, you had other wee things like the Gran Turismo update, the Pulse Elevate stuff, which, even though if I'm interested, even things like the God of War DualSense that you mentioned, it's like, that looks cool. It was 20 seconds. It was quite clearly filler. They should have just put out something just purely dedicated to the Wolverine. But before we get to that, there was some highlights in here as well. And I'm going to start, Scott, with a game that I know that you will be absolutely just dying to get your hands on, and that's Neo 3. I've just wrote 2 words. Goodbye, Scott. February
6th, 2026 will be a fun day. I'm not sure it will be, though. I didn't enjoy the demo.
You didn't?
Nah,
okay.
I didn't like the demo for it. This trailer has done something, though, like, I'm interested in the whole jumping through different eras and stuff. It played off that, which looked pretty cool. But it looks impressive. And I'm hopeful that, given time, and I think maybe I tried the demo at the wrong time. I think I was playing something else and it just bothered me as I was playing through it. But Neo is a game that I'll always come back to. So yeah, I'll pick it up, and as I say, you'll lose me for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there is something that I've wrote for myself here, which I know would be on your guff list, but for me, I'm interested, I think, which is that we've got a new trailer for Crimson Desert, which is coming March 19th next year. Obviously, you're going to get extra points with the Scotland Gruff VO as well, but big fantasy epic action, man. Dragons, trolls, steampunk. Yeah, just give me it all. I'll quite happily play that next year.
It has robots in it. Who knew? I just wrote it sounds like Gerard Butler's in it.
Gerard.
And then March 19th, in quotation marks, I just put never happening, because that game is never coming out on March 19th.
Vaporware.
it's never coming out. Like I'm sure of it.
If it doesn't, then you're talking after the summer, but we'll come back to that point in particular later in the show. There was one big thing, right? And I need to, speaking of our show, right, I need to pull us right back to some of the early days on this show, Scott, right? Our long-time listeners will know, when you reach the end of the Pixel Parents podcast, Scott Curry was telling you to do one simple thing, and that's to play a certain game. Now, that certain game is coming to PlayStation Plus as part of the October lineup. Alan Wake 2 will be available for PlayStation Plus subscribers, which I think also includes Essential and upwards. You also have Goat Simulator 3 and Cocoon. That is an absolute must-play steal if you don't do anything next month. Just go get PlayStation Plus and play Alan Wake 2. I'm with Scott on this. This is like a prophecy. Your moment to drop everything is here and go play Alan Wake 2. It's spooky season. It's perfect for it. It's one of the greatest of all time. Scott, how do you feel? A man that this is now the door opening.
Yeah, there's literally nothing better than feeling vindicated, to be honest with you, Liam. I want to thank God. I want to thank my family, the Academy, obviously. Everyone just deserves their plaudits on this. And I don't want to say it, but I did tell you. I've been telling you for years.
He did tell us.
Hurry up and just play Alan Wake 2, because it'll change you as a person. Like,
it does.
Is it chapter 3? Will literally change you as a person. Like, I might go back and play it. I might go back and do it, Liam. I don't have time. We
could if we had time.
I want to do it. I want to go back and do it, but we'll see. But the PlayStation Plus announcements were great, but
there was one before you get to the big one, right?
There are things that I want to have a discussion about.
Right. Well, there's a big one which I'm going to leave for you, right? But there's also, so that on the day of this podcast going live, right? That is The Last of Us Day. So The Last of Us Part 2 will also be coming to the PS Plus game catalogue, and that also includes the remastered version on PlayStation 5. So, worth putting on the radar. Thought it was a cool little announcement. But Scott, over to you for this next bit.
It's happened, man. Finally, the greatest game on the PlayStation 1. Well, no, that's a conversation we've had in the past. One of the greatest games to ever grace the PlayStation is finally coming to the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation Plus with Tekken 3. Liam, I genuinely almost shat my pants when I saw
that was a pop. It was a pop.
Eddie Gordo come up on that screen. I was like, holy balls. Shove that into me, man. And then not only that, fucking Soul Calibur 3. Like, it's the only thing that could have been better than this is Soul Calibur 2. That's all I needed. And it'll come eventually, Liam. It will happen. But Soul Calibur 3 was almost dropped to my knees and thanked God. It was almost like I had asked for this, and just getting Mitsurugi back on my screen one more time is going to be a joy, man. I cannot wait. Bloody wait.
I have been playing a lot of Soul Calibur 2 and of late, but seeing Tekken 3, and I should also add as well, Tekken 3 is also one of the entrants on the Pixel Picks list as well. You know, we're talking about the best fighting game that we named on our list. Stand by that. So this is like huge news for us, and it's absolutely amazing. If you haven't played it, if you have played it before, let's just go back and enjoy the good times. And probably one of the biggest pops of the night, and there wasn't many, but we fast forward to, which obviously was the main event here, right? We're finally here. And it's Insomniac Games, and they've finally like announced Wolverine, and it's coming in fall of 2026. It's confirmed now. Scott, allow me to spit some bars here, because as the resident Marvel nerd here, resident comic book dweeb, it was glorious. I mean, take aside the fact that they managed to nail the tone and the essence of the character with the violence and the gore. Side note, would be intrigued to see if they do have a mode where they can turn that off, because I know once I get Wolverine, my son's going to be like that. Ooh. It's like, I can't in all good conscience let him go near that. With the
your 5-year-old child has to watch Wolverine dismember some poor soul.
I will not make the same mistake my mum did with me and let me watch RoboCop at that age. I ain't letting them play this. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, I need this in my veins now, Scott. I think Insomniac just really understand that what these characters are about, and they also know how to tell a good story that gets to the essence of the character, and that's what is exciting me. But you see here, they've got the action, they've got the tone right, they've got the gore levels right, but then you've got teases these characters like Omega Red. That immediately you see those tentacles come out, I'm like, oh my god, like Omega Red's going to be in the game. You've got Mystique, you've got the Sentinels, you've even got the fact that it's coming fall 2026, all this stuff as well. The healing mechanics as well that they're showing as well. Madripoor, all this stuff together, Scott. You're going to be exploring between Madripoor, Canada. Yeah, perfect Logan story. I'm wanting something that's almost like a little bit of a lone Ronin samurai type thing that you would get in the comic books. Just him wandering through, unraveling this mystery that they're promising. And yeah, they went one step further. They had also revealed who's playing Wolverine, which is Liam McIntyre. Fans will remember him as the man behind JD Phoenix in the Gears of War series as well. So, he's got some pedigree as well. And he showed some of the mocap stuff. Been working on this for a while. Also an Aussie. I did text you asking, can only Australians play Wolverine?
Seemingly, aye.
I believe he is, but correct me on that one. But yeah,
well, technically not. Henry Cavill played them.
Also true. Spoiler. But then they showed off things like the artwork for this game, which is absolutely perfect, along with the costume design. Scott, I was so glad to have this in the show because it desperately needed it. and it was good, a really solid beat to finish on, and it feels like PlayStation finally have got that nice big exclusive for next year locked in now, which is good, fantastic. It's away from the big hitters such as GTA 6, which is wise. It's got time to cook. What were your thoughts on this initial review? I mean, we know it's a shame after we had seen a lot of that get leaked from Insomniac, which is very much heartbreaking for that team. But even still, I'm like, you know what? You can see that Sony are backing this, even from like the backdrop with the little vignettes with the development team replicating that bar that Logan was in from the reveal. What were your thoughts, man? What were your thoughts?
Pass. I thought it looked great. To be honest with you, like I don't have the familiarity with superhero nonsense. As much about X-Men as my wife knows about X-Men, and she probably knows more. She's a massive X-Men fan from the movies, but I mean, I'll watch them. But fuck you, Jackman.
Have you watched X-Men 97 yet? It's fantastic.
Nope, never watched it.
Get it in your veins.
I don't know why though, Liam. I don't care.
Because it's excellent. It's excellent.
I'm sorry, but I just don't. I'm still working my way through King of the Hill at the moment.
Oh, like, but yeah, that's all you need to do now, man.
That's still working my way through that. But no, I thought for a game that widely anticipated, that I say widely anticipated, but almost in good and bad ways, where people want it to do well, like ourselves. But there's also people out there that want it to completely fall flat in its arse because, it's taken so long to come out and it leaked and stuff like that, and people just wanting it not to be good. And I think what they showed us here was this isn't Spider-Man. Like, obviously, like, it is the complete polar opposite of what you have come to expect from Spider-Man. You can still see some of that Insomniac Spider-Man DNA in there in terms of, the way it moves around and stuff, but almost a wee bit, coming off of some of the kind of fighting scenes and stuff like that, all coming off a wee bit like, not Dark Knight, but like Arkham series, almost a bit like that. I'll be interested to see kind of how that wrinkles out, but I thought that for a showing that needed something like this, it stepped up to the plate and fucking knocked it right out the stratosphere. Like, I came away from that excited for spring 2076 to find out more about this game. I want to know who else is going to be there, because it's not just going to be Omega Red, the Sentinels, and Mystique. The presence of those characters indicates that there's going to be more there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, I want fucking weird deep cuts that I don't understand. That's my favourite thing about coming to these things. Like, Spider-Man was great because I knew who they all were, but I don't know anything about the X-Men apart from they're all fucking weird. But it's but this, it was just the standout thing for this was that this could have been made by NetherRealm. Like, the gore in this game is just, I love it. Like, I love it. Absolutely. The fact that PlayStation have just go and do it. Like, it's because you couldn't have had this game any other way. Like, I know you're saying there has to be a sort of fine line between, this level of gore and also being aware of there's maybe younger people out there who want to play the game. And yeah, fair dues, you create a setting for them, but ultimately, like,
just get older. Just get older.
Yeah, I know. By the time this game comes out, you'll be a year older anyway, so fuck that. But this was just a complete joy to watch. Like, that was
the thing, though. I need to ask you a question on this go, right? Whilst you're on it, Scott. I was actually quite shocked because I don't know. I wasn't expecting them. Because it was a Sony exclusive. I thought they're going to pull their punches a bit here. You get a wee dod of blood, maybe like to the level of Spider-Man, but when you see NetherRealm, what a perfect comparison. It was jaw-dropping.
You couldn't have had this any other way. Like, for a character with literal fucking knives in his hands, do you know what I mean? Like, you couldn't have not done this. And the fact that they've done it and, seem to be having fun with it, develop technologies to do with the blood and stuff like that as well. Like, I'm fucking into this. I really am, Liam. I just want to have pools of blood littered across the ground, like, and rolling in that shit. I can't wait. Even the outfit, even the mad Wolverine costume,
perfect,
like,
man.
We have to admit that it is so stupid looking. It really is, but it's amazing. Like the way that they've made it look at this game is just it's perfect. So
love the design of it. Absolutely love it.
As I say, for a game that people wanted to fail, I feel like, because people are sick of superhero stories, people are sick of Insomniac making these games. The fact that we now know that there's a long list of other titles coming from that, I'm buzzing, man. I can't wait. This has just made me more excited for that whole thing. Reinvigorated my taste, and coming off the back of the news about Marvel Tokon and stuff as well, like for the end of a show, the same way that they've done it with this, where they show you the game and then you get a wee breakdown of how the game's been made and talk about it. That's excellent. That's all I want to see. From big titles. I don't need that from already pre-existing games that are coming out and I know all about already. Do you know what I mean? So
absolutely,
it's great.
And it's coming at the right time. I think.
Yeah.
I echo everything you're saying, and I'll probably close it on. It is coming at the right time. Marvel X-Men as a movie franchise isn't here yet. So Wolverine still has a lot of equity in the public mindshare. Doing the video game, doing it properly, you'll never get a movie like this. So fans of Wolverine are dying for something like that. Yes, you're going to get the naysayers. You just get those typical crusty trolls that want to leak stuff, and you've seen it in TikTok. Well, oh my god, pre-alpha footage and criticising it. What kind of donkey-brained individuals actually doing that? Anyway, I think this looks still looks it's a work in progress. You can see a lot of the polished parts are coming in the cutscenes, so they've obviously did all the mocap work, etc. Some of the gameplay snippets you saw, they didn't look bad, but you can tell that this can still go up a gear based on what we know from Insomniac, and that is exciting. Still got over a year until this game comes out. Very wise to put it in that fall window. And I'm with you. I'm looking forward to spring next year for that State of Play showcase where we get really excited. We get maybe something like the James Bond State of Play where it's just a 20-30 minutes of gameplay following you through a mission. Let's go, man. Let's go. It's good to have Logan back, and he can take a beating, man. He just heals anyway, so it's all good. It's all good. So
I'm buzzing, man. I can't wait. I just want all the X-Men in it.
Well, I think that's the exciting part. He's got the outfit, Scott. So
Give
what
us
do they do narrative-wise?
Well,
where are they?
You do it in the same vein of Spider-Man and Miles Morales, where you can see Miles Morales doing his own thing in the distance, but it's just every other X-Men that's there. There you go.
I want X-23, his daughter, or I want Dakin introduced in this somewhere down the line, and then we're just going to get this little Wolverine family. But the fact the Sentinels are there, and you see glimpses of his X-Men uniform, but he's also not wearing it. Is this going to take place after some type of Sentinel-type attack where the X-Men members have been taken out or captured? Who knows? Whatever it is, but they'll have an interesting framing device. I hope they don't just tap into the kind of poor memory aspect of it so much. I want to see them try something a little bit different, but yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It's going to be cool.
I want to end it on this, Liam, and it's a very important question that I actually wanted to ask you, and it was, do you know what happens when a toad gets struck by lightning?
What?
The same thing that happens to everything else.
Absolute classics.
History? So bad.
The fact they had the balls to put it in there, though. Oh, so good. But I digress. Now, before we move on to the main topic, if you enjoy the show, you can support us and join our free Patreon community. So please visit patreon.com/pixelparents for every show, chats, and bonus shows, including side quests with Scott, free all the time. And of course, you can listen to the show on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts as well. Now, we've got a main topic here, but it's mainly a coda to what we've just witnessed here on the State of Play before we get to the Pixel Picks Showdown. But of course, this week's main topic is too many games and where are we finding the time? There's so many good games coming at us. As we've seen, State of Play has just chucked a couple of heavy hitters there. A lot of guff, but there's a lot of good games coming in amongst the rest, and it's almost overwhelming, right? We're truly spoiled. As I mentioned at the start of the show, it's the ultimate first world problem, right? But here we are, we gamers. We're greedy bastards, right? So we want to forever bathe in that hype. We're juggling kids, we've got work, we've got partners, we've got pets, generally being an adult. These are all and-ors. And, time is such a precious commodity. how in the name of Christ are we able to find the time to do this, and how are we going to do it? Now, Scott, right off the bat, because I always hit you with the big one, is it just the fact that there is actually just too many games coming out at the one time now?
Yeah.
There we go. Thanks for listening, guys.
It's getting worse. Like, we're looking at months in games, like almost like full seasons. It's outrageous. Like, get through here, then you got the whole of October. Then what comes out in November and December? It's like you barely get a bloody minute to take a breath. I know the answer is, oh well, don't play them then. That's fine, but that's less fun.
Fuck that.
That's less fun for me. So
that's I don't. That's a cop out answer, so we won't take that. In terms of that's if people say just play less, fuck that. It's for me. I'm thinking, I'm with you. I think there's too many games coming at one time. It's that bit in The Simpsons where the doctor's trying to explain to Mr. Burns that he's actually got so many germs trying to fight through it, the one disease at one time. He's not getting struck down by it. So he thinks he's practically invincible. That's what it kind of feels like just now with the amount of games that are coming out. And I feel that right now, publishers. So there's two things here. I feel like they need to get better at pacing out releases. There was a really interesting tidbit of information. I'm just trying to dig this out here, and it's from the game business. I need to give them the shout out. They had did their usual email as they do, which is well worth subscribing to if you haven't already, if you're interested in that type of thing. But it's from Christopher Dring there at the game business. So please go over there and check it out. But he's just asking the same thing. Are video game companies getting their release dates wrong? And the tidbit in here is that basically there was 155 AAA single-player games getting released between January 21, December 24. Nearly 70% of them were released in just 5 months of the year. 45% between mid-August and mid-November, and 23% in February, March. Only 14% of titles are released in Q2. And in terms of the average player count per title over a 3-month period, games released in April, May and June carry as much engagement as games released in September, October and November. And the last one here for 2025, 25% of single-player games with a $60+ price tag are coming out this month in September. So there is a trend. And please go check out the game business. Go subscribe to it. Chris String's doing a fantastic job over there if you're interested in that stuff. So that you're seeing that we're feeling it now. Like in this last week alone, man, we've had Silent Hill F, Hades 2, FC26 is coming out, which is a big one for a lot of the more casual audience out there as well. To name but a few, right? And you had even things like Baby Steps as well. I'm missing out so many because that's where I'm at. My head is like spaghetti junction. It's so many, and you're like, what one do I pick? And I feel that particularly this year, it is all because of one rather large, glitzy elephant in the room, which is the GTA 6 effect. I feel that publishers may be stuffing releases between now and over the next 6 months to March just to get them out there before May 26. Like, they want to keep away from GTA 6, and I don't think they're willing to compete with the other big boys that are coming, like your Wolverines next fall. And it's it's a great problem to have, but Christ, if you do that, I actually think you're setting yourself up for a fall. I would much rather see a game take an 18-month delay, cook, polish it, than just rush it out just now. Because the problem is now, when you're getting such a high volume, I think the audience becomes a little bit more discerning quality-wise. They will not accept it because it's like, listen, I could have bought this instead, and instead this won't even work. I mean, we look at Battlefield 6, for example, right? Now, that game is going to be as polished as any standard Call of Duty this year, right? And Call of Duty, for all its flaws, is always pretty polished on release. You never get the usual server issues and all that nonsense. It just works. And you know that Battlefield 6, they have tested and tested and tested again because they know it's like, we can't afford to do that. I wish that all the other publishers that are stuffing these releases just now are probably going to take the same approach, but it's, GTA 6 effect, will come back to that, Scott. Do you think that's real? Do you think that's what we're witnessing, why there is so many games just now?
I think it's well noted, to be honest with you. And trying to avoid titles has become a massive part of it as well. Like we saw it recently with Silksong, is that a lot of indie titles stopped changing the release date because Silksong was coming out. I think it was what game was it recently that came out at the same time as Silksong? Hell Is Us. One of the people at Hell Is Us was saying that the release of the kind of the quick release of Silksong, shadow drop in Silksong, Heart Hell Is Us, and there's a point to say it's true. Like shadow dropping games is great for people who want to play that game, but when you're fucking over other people in the industry and other games that are have taken their time to come out, it's almost like a bit of a pure kick in the balls for them. It's like, well, what the fuck are we going to do now? It's like deer in the headlights moment. Is all shit. Like there's Grand Theft Auto suddenly shadow dropped. Just like, oh fuck, I guess I'll die. It's just ridiculous. And I think that there are certain few games that will carry that weight. Silksong is definitely one of them. Grand Theft Auto 6 is absolutely another one that we're seeing it more and more. Companies saying, we wanted to wait to see when Grand Theft Auto was coming out. If there was a delay announced for Grand Theft Auto 6, would we see changes to people? Would they say, oh, well, suddenly we can now bring it forward? Do you know what I mean? Like, see, instead of a fall release for Wolverine, let's just actually release it and then not fall.
Not the fall.
Do you know what I mean?
My God, he's right. Not the fall. Why didn't we think of that?
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, I think that it is 100% a real thing that we're experiencing. And I also just think that, the rise in competent is probably a wrong word to use, but, beloved, great indie games is also harming it as well. It's like people's time can only go so far, and having this mountain of games that are coming out, including indie titles and stuff like that, and these things being more accessible than ever. It's just outrageous, man. Outrageous.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing for us, the question is like, how do we get around it? Any tips we have for our listeners? I suppose for me, it is that you have to, like, we're approaching it very differently, right? We want to make sure we're playing some stuff to be on this show. So, and that does have an influence, but also doesn't, because we can't play everything. We're the same as the people listening to this show. You've only got so many hours in the day. For me, I think it is always the same. Like, I just try to be as discerning as possible, but it's always what one day I want to play most. There's always the nice to haves. Right now, for me, the Indiana Jones DLC, right? That's the nice to have now. I've got Assassin's Creed Shadows, but Ghost of Yoti is next week. Am I going to finish that in time? Doubt it, because I've now got Hades 2. And it's like Hades 2 has been one of my most anticipated games this year. So I'm like, I will drop everything for that and then Ghost of Yoti. But the good thing is Hades 2 fits into my life perfectly just now because it's on the Switch too. And there's also, Scott, it's not just silly season for games, right? It's silly season for reality TV.
Yeah.
So I want to spend some time with my beloved wife. She's sitting watching Mad at First Sight UK. I'm like, don't worry, I'll sit on the couch with you, we'll watch that. One eye in maths, one eye in Hades 2. That's it. That's my evening sorted, at least for the majority of the week, because as you know, it's not just all about us sitting in our tents playing games, it's just the fact that we want to actually spend time with our loved ones out there as well, and that's the biggest priority. But even at that, sometimes, like, I'm finding right now, because we've just hit the autumnal months, and it's to take the pressure off yourself, I was like, I really should sit and play Assassin's Creed Shadows DLC for the show. And if I'm starting a sentence with I really should, it's just don't do it. And instead, I went to my bed at 9:30. I stuck on RKG Boys retry, and it was glorious. I went to bed. It's fantastic. And, at the end of the day, we do put an awful lot of pressure on ourselves as gamers, because we are greedy. We want to play everything, but at the end, if there is too many games, the only way around it, I think, is a slow gaming movement. Just to take our time. We wait a long time for this stuff to come out. Unless you are idiots like ourselves on podcasts, we want to be talking about stuff all the time. There really is no need to sit and batter through it. And it's one of the worst habits that comes when you're given the opportunity to review a game, is that you batter through it. And that's something that I've carried with me for way too long now, since I started reviewing games. over a decade ago. That's terrifying. But it's like, we don't want to bring that pressure onto the listeners. I wouldn't recommend it. That's my tip. It's just to be like, if you find yourself saying, I really should, you really don't have to. You know, these games will be there waiting for you. And I think, as a listener, it can sometimes get lost on you, that fact, because content creators, ourselves included, we don't want to lose sight of that. And I think right now, when you're in review season, silly season, however you want to chalk it up, and if you're listening to a larger creator who's like getting battered with codes, and they are under that pressure because if they don't talk about the latest things, they don't get views, they don't get money, and that's how they make their livings. Right now, when you get a high quantity of games coming out at the one time, you don't want the quality of the conversation to come down with it as well. And I think that's another risk that we're going to run over the next 6 months with this GTA 6 effect. Let's all take our time. Let's enjoy it. You really should, but you don't have to. That's really all I would say. But Scott, what's any tips you've got for our dear listeners out there that might be thinking the same as us? Like, there's just too many bloody good games out there. How do I get to it?
I think you've hit the nail on the head, to be honest with you. It's explore handhelds as much as you can, utilise them as much as humanly possible. Be truthful to yourself. Like, if you're playing a game like, yes, there you go, I switched to. If you're playing a game like, you know, a Fire Emblem, Three Houses, understand that's not a game you're finishing in, 3 hours. Is
3 months.
You have to be well aware of the fact that that's going to take you a while. It's a problem for this show because, I have gripes when I listen to I'll say it now, right, Liam? I'm dropping the bomb on this because this is something we have tiptoed around for a very long time. But if I am listening to a review and they tell me that they've played it for an hour, and we're talking about big ass games, I'm almost like, what the hell have you been doing then? Like, you get paid to do this. Do you know what I mean? Whereas ourselves, we do this as hobbyists. And for love nor money, I do try my best to come back with a good portion of time in a game. Now, that is difficult because you sacrifice things like, I'll sacrifice maybe an hour or two of sleep a night just because, I want to try and get something out the road and clear the decks a wee bit. I maybe try and squeeze an hour in after I finish work before I go and pick up the wee one from our grand's house, which is a terrible thing to admit, but I'll do it. I'll bloody well do it.
I think we all have that in common, though. We all do it as gamer parents in particular.
Yeah, you just have to fit it around it. But, it's never going to be a thing where, and it has never been a thing where video games take over. If it ever was a point, Liam, where I was like, look, I can't control this anymore. Like, I can't do this anymore. I would just stop playing it. Like, it's the show would take a battering because I would be like, look, I can't manage this. I want to still remain a good husband, a good father, and also, a human being at the end of the day. Like, playing Let It Die 2 for review would kill me, and it's something that I would never want to do, but also it's just I don't know where I'm going with it because I'm tired, but it is just one of those things where you're right, slow gaming is the way to go. Like, I think we get caught up in the review cycle, and if you're reviewing things professionally, then there's an expectation that you do have to finish it, and I probably agree with that expectation. I think if you're doing this for a job, it is your job to give a well-rounded overview of at least everything that you've played. But if you're not doing this as a job, if you're doing this for fun, if you're doing this as just a wee side gig or something like that, like, take the pressure off yourself. Just be open and honest with the people, and I tend to appreciate that.
I'd probably disagree. I think if you get a review any length or any type of opportunity, you have a duty to whoever it is, even if it's two people that's reading it. It's your integrity, and you want to make sure that you're giving a good account. For me, I think we're all kind of bound to that pressure. If it's not a review, it's actually the discourse. It's the zeitgeist. We want to be part of the conversation. We spoke about it a few months ago. Game appearance as well. I think it's one of the most difficult things on the journey of, especially at the start when you become a gamer parent, is that you kind of have to let go of that, because life does go on hold, or that part of your hobby life goes on hold, and it comes back very slowly. It's a wonderful thing when it does, but when the baby's here and they're tiny and they need everything, and then you start to slowly ramp games back up, but then you're like, I've not played this in a while, and you start to dig into the backlog, and then maybe you start to build up some new releases in there as well, and before not, you're back in the swing of things and you want to be part of that conversation. But it is different because, you don't have as much time in your hands, and you have to be discerning, you have to be selective. And right now, in these moments where the conversation just seems to be going left, right and centre, and that is, of course, reviews feel that, but also just general, podcast muppets like ourselves feel that, and all the rest of it. You still keep in touch with ways outside of actually playing it. I find that, YouTube and podcasts and all that stuff is a way that I personally, get my fixes. Days where I might not get to play some stuff, and that's totally cool, because as you have a day and it's a weekend, you wake up in the morning, best of intentions, get to that night and you're like, I'm absolutely cream crackered. The wee one has absolutely destroyed me today, and I'm going to my bed, and that's fine. And ultimately, what I want to leave the listeners with is just look after yourself when it comes to it. I think there is too many games, and to answer the question, how do we find time to do it? Just find the right time to do it. Don't put the pressure on yourself. It's something we need to enjoy. Life is hard enough, and there's a lot of people. If it could just be one tiny person, you could have 4 or 5, in which case, fair play. They're looking for you. You're there everything. Don't burn yourself out on video games. That's what I would say. Think of the children, Scott. Think of the children.
I mean, I've said it before, Liam. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, that I believe the children are our future.
Oh, that was absolutely fantastically placed.
On that note, and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside.
That's me. That's my favourite part of this show. But on that, I think we should move on, Scott, which means, of course, that it's time for the Pixel Picks Showdown, where each week we each pick a game from our chosen theme, and we decide which one deserves to live on the hallowed Pixel Picks list, which is our definitive list of the best games we recommend and pass on to the next generation of gamers. The last week's theme was Best Replayable Game, with Football Manager 24 becoming the latest addition to that list. The police are still investigating that absolute theft, heist and robbery that's happened on this show. But this week's showdown, we are debating what the best game with no combat we think should feature on the Pixel Picks list. Now, as always, last week's winner goes last, which should have been me, but it's you, Scott. So let's get to it. I will go first. And this is a 1-2 punch here, right? 1-2 punch.
God.
So, my honourable mention this week is none other than Firewatch, because it's a game without any combat, I believe, from what I remember. And yeah, I think it's a very intriguing mystery. Perfect vibe. It has a turtle in there. I love turtles. It did kind of let itself down in the end. I was hoping for a much more of a creepy type of mystery. I've kind of felt like I was getting breadcrumbed all the way through it to find something a bit more horrifying, but instead it was just ultimately quite sad and poignant. But it does stay with you, and I think it's a very good game that you can batter out over a weekend, hence why I think it deserves an honourable mention. But my pick this week, Scott, the best game with no combat, it can only be one thing for me. Preposterous, I would say anything else. It might even be the best game of all time, Scott. And its sequel is coming this year. And that is none other than Power Wash Simulator. That is getting my vote this week. One of the greatest experiences, Zen experience you could have ever. And I implore everybody to go play Power Wash Simulator and bring it into your lives. Get up to speed before the sequel comes out, because we are about to go to some new Zen heights. Scott.
Get up to speed. Oh my God. I honestly can't believe you have just said that there was one in relation to it.
I am being deadly serious as well.
I know
that's the best game with no combat.
That's why I think it's funny. And honestly, just combating boredom while you're playing it, maybe.
How dare! He's not even played it. He doesn't know.
I've not played it. I'm just being facetious. I'm being so angry about it because it's made me laugh. No, best games with no combat. It took me a while to think about this one, if I'm being truthfully honest with you. And also a couple of the games that I wanted to think about were actually on the list already. But for me, it came down to a conversation I had with myself, in that I want my honourable mention to be ridiculous, Liam. I want it to be the most ridiculous thing that I could say, because in all honesty, you could potentially, maybe not the whole game with no combat, but parts of the game you could play it with no combat, which technically is an outlier here. But I just wanted to, because I was watching a video about it the other day, and it was talking about Metal Gear Solid 5 and trying to complete certain missions in that game without actually entering combat. And it is possible without shooting guns, certain levels of it, but then you get stuck and you can't do it. But no, my choice for this week, that was my honourable mention, just as a wee joke for everyone, because I can't think of another game without combat, Liam. I googled it and they're all games that I've never played or are already on the list, like Animal Crossing. Never played Outer Wilds, never done it. But the only other game that I could pick on the list that I've actually played that has no combat is your honourable mention. Honourable mention? Firewatch, yeah. Brilliant experience. Phenomenal experience.
It really is.
A great wee tale, and a tale that I always want to go back and play. It's ignited a fire. It's ignited a fire in my soul for living in one of those watchtowers.
Yeah.
There's parts of my Instagram algorithm that has taken me to places where it's people living in them and they report a day's work, and it's like, I could get on board with that, Liam. I could do that. But it's just a very fascinating life and a wee fascinating story. And as you say, it has a turtle in it. But do you know what? Just for you, over the last few weeks, I have got away with murder. And I'll give you this, just so you never have to bring it up again until the second one comes out. But if you want to put Power Wash Simulator on the list, on you go.
Acknowledge me, Scott, because it's here. The final day. He's his way. The tribal thief. You want to do everything here.
Honestly, it's...
I'm so happy. I want to thank God. I want to thank the Lord God. Because Power Wash Simulator, you're getting added to this list so hard. I'm so happy. This might be the happiest I've been. I'm tearing up and everything. It's a big victory. The gamers have won today, Scott. Power Wash Simulator, congratulations. You are on the Pixel Picks list as our best game.
I mean,
with no combat.
Let's be honest.
Gamers have won.
You picked the option best game with no combat just to get Power Wash Simulator in there. We were 1 week away from you putting best Power Wash game. Best slander. Game with Power Wash in it.
That's slander, son. I've got it on tape. We can't prove any of this.
It's AI. It's AI, Liam.
It's all AI generated. I've
got 6 fingers.
So happy.
6 fingers.
I'll power wash one of them off for you. But yeah, no, it deserves a place on this list because I think a lot of our listeners, gamer parents out there, they would have a lot to enjoy here. But that does bring us to the end of this week's podcast, Scott. So thank you once again for joining us, and remember to support small independent games made out there. So if you like what you hear and you enjoy the podcast, please share on social media and tell your friends about us or leave us a wee 5-star review. It all helps us out and makes a massive difference. And remember to join our free Patreon community at patreon.com/pixelparents to support the show. Cost you hee-haw and you'll get all the stuff that you enjoy for free on there. Now, test time, Scott. Where can people find you online if they want to hear about your journey with Power Wash Simulator?
Fucking hell. I'll do it one time. You will find me at lamaman.bsky.social, lamenting my current issues with gaming and eventually playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Oh my goodness, he's adding to the log. Well, go over there and please speak to him and tell him to get a Switch 2. Tell him to treat himself, because if he's playing Fire Emblem, he needs to play it on a big old lovely screen now. Myself, I will be playing a Switch 2. I'll be playing a lot of Hades 2, so if you want to come hear about that and more, you can follow me on Blue Sky at carmelite.bsky.social. Of course, a massive thank you to our producer and music man, the talented and handsome Mr. Sean Murray. So please go show him some love. Check out his work on Instagram at barehandsdesigns and barehandsdesigns.com. And you can listen to the next episode on all major podcast platforms and follow us on Blue Sky at pixelparents.bsky.social. Of course, write to us at pixelparentspodcast at gmail.com. But until next time, stay safe, stay sane, and thanks for listening.
Doug Bowser, retired.
Oh, the final day has finally won.